How's it, guys? Welcome back to FX Rhapsody. Today we're going to be looking at the British pound US dollar and also the British pound Japanese yen. We're going to be looking at the chart to look at what the charts are showing us, and then we're also going to be confirming that with the updated COT reports. So let's start off on the monthly time frame on the British pound US dollar. So currently what we're seeing is the pound is still in this resistance area at the top there. We can also see that, you know, this month is generated a nice bearish momentum or bearish candle. So it means that currently for this month the bears have been in control. We can also see that there's this area over here. For me, that's an area of interest. I mean, there's a nice support area. We can see that price broke through, retested that area, and currently it tapped it. And you can see that that candle is pulling back slightly, so which means it is a very nice area of support. So it's going to be interesting to see if the pound falls or breaks below the support and then carry on to the downside, or will it respect the support and push it away to the upside. So if I'm just going to take away these ones over here before we head over to the weekly. So if we go to the weekly time frame, let's see what that tells us. Okay, let's just expand it a bit better. There we go. So on the weekly time frame, you can see this. There was this area here, like we know. There's this nice area of resistance at the top. You can expand it to the side here, as you can see. So it's been respected before. You can also see that, you know, there was a nice bearish candle, nice push to the downside. What I just always like to do is just pull out my Fibonacci just to look at. Let me just expand it a little bit better. There we go. Just to see, you know, the little bit of retracement that needs to happen to this. Interesting that you can see that, or let me just have a look here. So that's 0. So you can see that here, how price came up and it pushed it way up to this area of, let's call it, resistance currently. So you can see that area of resistance was respected before, and you can see how this candle came down and it came up and it retested this 50% area, not closing there. It's just it touched it and it pulled back, meaning it's a nice area of resistance. So I'm just gonna, this is also a very nice area of support where the pound is basically finding itself. You can actually expand it to there. Just remember, guys, this is nice and big view of the weekly candles so we can see clearly. I like to expand my charts, especially in the high time frames, so you can just see what the market is doing. So currently what we can expect, or there's actually two scenarios. So we can expect the price to bounce in between this, but you can see it has consolidated the year before. So will the two areas be strong enough for price to bounce in between, or will price start breaking? So scenario 1, price is going to shoot up to this resistance area at the top again, and then bear in mind it's weekly candles, so this can happen next week and the week after, or price can actually just break through this area down to the downside, come up to retested, and then move its way down again. So that's also a scenario that can happen. So, but for me, excuse me, I use the weekly time frame just for analysis and just to see where the market is heading. Guys, don't just trade and place trades on the weekly time frame. I mean, it's it's a bit too high. So if you want to place a trade, so let's go to the daily time frame. Let's just see what the daily is showing us. So let's just expand it nicely. We can actually minimize this a little bit there. We can see a little bit better. There we go. All right. So basically what the daily is showing is, you can see this whole consolidation at the top here. The range, the market was ranging at the top. And you can see that market pushed its way down and then came up to basically retest an area there. So for me, if I had to just take my Fibonacci out from the high to the low, So you can see clearly how this area, there we go, you can see better. This was a nice key area of resistance in the past. We just expand it a bit, there you go. So you can see here how price pushed down, it bounced off this bottom here. So let's see why it bounced. You look to the left, you can see that with this was also a nice area of resistance or support. There we go. So this was, if you look to the left, you can see how price was bouncing in between this area. So this was also a nice area of support. So you could have expected price to come down here, and especially you draw this in, you look to the left where your support and resistance areas are, draw to the left, you can see price bounced off nicely, came back up, and look at this, on the 50%, bam, hit it, and it's heading its way down. Now on my Telegram channel, I posted this, price was heading up, and I was posting that this is a nice sell area. We caught a nice couple of sells here when the price pushed down. So I think this was actually, price was heading its way up, and I posted this and I said look for a nice sell opportunity for the price to push down, and lo and behold, there she goes. So what we can expect now for next week is price can either come back and just tap this, and then push its way up again. That's going to be scenario one. Or price might just break through this area of support, come up and retest it, and then start heading down again. So we will definitely keep an eye on that. So let's see what this commitment of traders report says. So if we had to look at the British pound, and this is now the British pound measuring it up to the dollar. So you can see that there was there's definitely a change in long positions. So meaning there's about 3,700 longs that was taken out the market, and 10,000 shorts been put in. So you can see this net position moving from 32,000 to 17, meaning that the British pound is getting weaker. A lot more banks, institutes, hedge funds are putting shorts into the market, meaning they are pushing the pound down. And that is why I'm saying this is the more likely scenario that can happen for the British pound. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it, especially when it gets to this area of support, and we will definitely go to a lower time frame, 4 hour, and we can see, and we might see the price push through it, come up and retest it. So guys, that is my analysis for the GBP USD. So let's just head on to the British pound Japanese yen. Let's go to the monthly time frame. Let's just minimize it a bit. There we go, or expand it a bit, sorry. Okay, so we see the big resistance at the top here. We can also see, let me just expand a little bit. I want to show you guys something. So we can also see this area here. So this area acted as a resistance as well. Price came up, came down, went up again. Look at this interesting here. This is very interesting. So back in the past, where was this? September 2017. Price came up into this area. It created that, draw it better. There we go. Oh, it's not, there we go. It created that little bearish candle in between the bulls, basically creating this area of support. So went up, came down. Look at what it's doing now again. A couple of years later, price comes up, creates another bearish candle. So you can actually, you see how market repeats itself. Creates another bearish candle, pushes up, and then comes down. Now in the past, what happened was price just pushed through this, let's call it support area, resistance and support back then. It just pushed through and it started heading its way down. Now currently what we're seeing is price is retesting that area, basically not pushing through. It wanted to push through and it pulled back for this month. Month is almost over. Will next month be the month that it pushes through? Will price carry on up? It's going to be interesting factors to see. But for now, I think currently that is acting as a nice support area for the market. Let's head it down to the weekly area to see what price is doing. So the weekly time frame, we can still see this. Okay, I'm not going to draw that trend line. We know that trend line is there. So I'm just going to do this area here. There we go. So let me just draw it better. So on a weekly time frame, we can see, obviously we know about the resistance area at the top here, but you can also see that price came and it broke this area here, came back to retest it. So is price going to now start dropping from here? Because we can see that this is a nice area of resistance. It was resistance, turned support over here, broke through, came back, and it's not pushing through again. It's not heading its way up again. So let's see what happens this week. Will price push through and head back up? Will the British pound get stronger than the Japanese yen? So let's look at the COT reports just now. On the daily time frame. Okay, on the daily time frame, let me just expand it a bit. There we go. So we know about this resistance area at the top. Let's just do a quick one. Top-down analysis. So we go from the top and we move down. Let's just look at this. You can see I'm just going to highlight all these areas that I'm looking at. Okay. There. So you know the resistance at the top. You can see price consolidating. You can see this was also a nice resistance. Turned support. Came down. It had a false breakout, and then pushing its way down to the it basically pushed through, came down, and yeah, it looks like it's heading its way down again. You can also see this area over here. So for me, that's also a nice key area in the market. Let's just make it better like that. Okay. So what can we expect? We saw the price pushing down. We saw the price then heading up again. Now, if I take my Fibonacci from the low to the high, because price was heading up, okay, you can see how there's another area over here. There we go. It's another area, and you can see it, the Fibonacci showed us now. So you can see that from the low to the high, Fibonacci pushed up, came down, and it's testing this support area here on the 38.2. So scenario 1, pound carries on going to the upside. Okay, testing this area, this support or the resistance area at the top here, and then heading its way down. Okay, that's scenario 1. Do this 50%. Scenario 2, price might actually, because we know what we know now is, especially with the previous analysis on the GU, we know that the British pound is getting weaker. Okay, we saw the net positions getting strong. So if we look at the British pound, Japanese yen, we can see, price is heading down again. So what we're expecting or what we're wanting to see is, if the British pound gets weaker, we want the Japanese yen to get stronger, and that will push this price down. Okay, so before we carry on talking about that, let's just look at the COT reports. So there's the Japanese yen. So what we can see in the Japanese yen is, in actual fact, it is getting weaker as well, or not weaker, but I mean the change in longs. There was a lot of longs that got put in the market for the Japanese yen, meaning it's stronger, but a lot more shorts was put in the market as well. So the change is a net effect of getting weaker. So a lot more shorts were put in the market than longs. So both, there were more longs put in the market and there were also shorts put in the market, but a lot more shorts were put in the market, meaning that it is a weaker Japanese yen. So the banks and everybody is still pushing the price down. So what we can see is, or what we can expect is, that this price might, like I said here, might push up to this area of resistance and then filter its way down. But then also scenario 2, we can look at this price actually this week coming, push down, maybe just to this area here, to this area of support. Then come back and then test this area over here. Whoops. This should be the other way around. So it can then test the 38%. And then from there on, it will follow suit and head its way down. So guys, this is going to be an interesting week. I mean, the COT report shows us that definitely the pound is getting a bit weaker. Japanese yen is also weaker. Difficult market to trade these days, especially with the coronavirus and all that, all the news coming out. But guys, just keep with your analysis. Don't just place trades. Don't try and predict the markets. Rather react to what they give you. And you know, if we look at the daily like we're looking now, when it comes to placing your trades, just go down to the low time frames, go to the 4 hour, the hour time frames, and then what we're doing here and what I'm showing you here, do that on those time frames as well. Use your price action, use your Fibonacci, and yeah, and then also together with that COT report, go download it. It's the link is in the description. Just go visit my website. I've categorized all the videos very nicely there. And yes, please like this video if you found it helpful. Subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, just for more analysis that's coming your way this weekend. And I hope you've been having a wonderful weekend. And so we'll be seeing you on the next one. Happy trading, guys.